So this is the Null Raiden R2. Probably has one of the smoothest deployments of any knife I've ever felt. The feeling of this thing opening is absolutely amazing. This is going to be the knife of the day. Notice I do have ProTech Mordax over here, and then also a Kunwu over here. These are going to be relevant to this, which is why I have them. This video is not going to be about those knives, but they will be relevant to this knife. Okay, so let's talk specs. The blade is going to be a MagnaCut blade, and pretty much everything else on this thing is titanium. Titanium scales, titanium hardware, titanium clip, titanium liners. Everything else is basically going to be titanium. So you're getting premium materials with the MagnaCut blade and titanium hardware. The blade's coming in at 3.3 inches, so you don't have a giant blade, but you do have something with a pretty decent amount of size to it. Also, all the tiny little details you get with this knife, notice that the inside of the frame is actually knurled a little bit, and you do feel it just a little bit. It's kind of hard to really catch it on camera, but you can see a little bit there. And when you're trying to lock the blade, it does actually make it a little bit smoother, a little bit easier to get where you need to be to lock it. So as I said, the other two knives that I have today are relevant to this one because, as I just mentioned, this one is with a MagnaCut blade. So I wanted to also compare it with my ProTech that also has a MagnaCut blade. Just kind of wanted to compare the differences a little bit, not so much about the ProTech, but more about the Null. So you're getting titanium hardware, titanium scales, titanium clip, titanium everything basically in a MagnaCut blade. Here you're getting a MagnaCut blade, but you're getting aluminum scales and you're getting aluminum hardware. This is not necessarily a bad thing, but it doesn't quite compare. This is a $240 knife. This is a $330 knife. Both of them are great knives, but when you start getting into this kind of style, when you start getting into like the 300 plus, you start getting a little bit more custom features. You notice that with nicer hardware, little attentions to details such as having the knurled pieces for the lock right there. Just a little bit more attention to detail on knives like these. But you're also going to be getting numbered parts sometimes. These knives, it's kind of hard to see it, but you will see there is a number on the inside of the backspacer. Null knives are limited production knives. They don't do huge mass production quantities. Whereas with a ProTech, this is a mass produced knife, you can just go to the store and buy one. A knife like this, it's going to be a little bit more special and limited. They do online drops. They will mention on their social media they have a new model coming out soon when you can buy it, but it's for a limited time. They have X amount of numbers for each one of the knives. Once they sell out, they're gone. I also wanted to mention that because this is titanium and it is skeletonized, this knife weighs absolutely nothing. It is so easy to put this in your pocket, forget it's there. When you need to take it out, quick, easy deployment, put it away, be done. It's not like this big, heavy knife that you feel weighing in your pocket. I don't know what kind of knife you carry, but if you're anything like me, some knives, such as this one, which I'll get to in a moment, they're a bit heavier. It's nice to have a really nice light knife that doesn't really take up much space in your pockets at all. Okay, so I wanted to talk about the finish a little bit, and I got a couple things to go over really quick. First, you will notice that there is going to be a line right here. This is my buddy's knife. He uses this for work quite a bit, and if you're like anybody that uses a knife for work a lot, you're probably cutting open boxes more than anything else. Boxes and straps and wrappings. Because it is a stone-washed blade, you will see that a little bit. That's kind of normal with stone-washed blades, but just something to keep in mind. If you are going to be using it a lot, you will be noticing that wear coming across on the stone-washed blade. The other thing I wanted to mention is the PVD finish on these scales. The PVD finish is amazing. It's scratch resistant, but it is a it's a fingerprint magnet, not fingerproof. It's a fingerprint magnet. If that matters to you, you're going to be wiping this clean all the time. If it doesn't matter to you, it is an amazing finish for scales. Not going to be worried about getting these too scratched up too easily. So this is a $330 knife. This is a $240 knife. You are getting a lot more nice custom features with this knife. This feels like it is $100 more. Honestly, if you don't mind spending the money, and if you're looking at videos like this, you're probably already in this world of knives, you are getting a knife that, in my opinion, is worth that $330 price tag. Now I want to go over comparing the Kunwu that I have to this Null. Not necessarily comparing them against each other, but kind of more just going over the features that you expect in this price range and why I think this knife kind of fits that range perfectly. So firstly, the Kunwu, you have a specialty blade as well. This is a blade called Vankron. It's not a very typical normal blade for knives, but it is kind of a specialty blade or specialty material for the blade. And you have titanium scales with this kind of custom finish, little details to the hardware. It's got a custom feel to it. Same with this one. You have a stone-washed blade, magna cut. It's a little bit more of a special type of metal for knives. Same thing with this one. It's a little bit more special metal for this type of knife. Both are gonna be stonewash, different types of stonewash, but that is still a feature that you can expect on a little bit nicer knives, such as this $300 range, which this is a $330 knife, and this one I believe is a $320 knife. So it's about the same price range. So to me, this knife for being in the $330 range is actually kind of what you expect in a good way. Now I do have one minor complaint about this knife, and I don't even know if I should really call it a complaint, more of just maybe a personal preference to me, but I'll let you decide. It's gonna be this little section right up here. So you'll notice the way this is kind of profiled. This looks almost like a front flip. What did you think? And you can do it that way. And nowhere on the website do I see anywhere that says that it is actually a front flip, but you can do it. But it's really tricky. And if they had just brought this up just a little bit more higher up, a little bit more angle from the pivot, it would have made this so much easier to also be a better front flip. That is a super small complaint. It's not really even a full complaint of the knife. It's more personal preference. I'm a fidgety person. I like when I'm sitting at my computer desk working on something, I can kind of just fidget with a knife like this, which is another reason why I brought my Kunwu out. Because the front flip goes so much higher than the pivot, super easy to open this one. Doesn't take any real effort, kind of just fling it open. And I feel like they could have done that with this one. If they had just brought the angle of the scale up just a little bit more, you could still make it match, and it would have made it so much easier to front flip. Like I said, you can do it. It's a little tricky, but I notice I don't see it advertised as a front flip anywhere, and I think there's a reason for that, because it's not necessarily meant to be one, but it's so close to it that you can do it. It's just a kind of weird minor complaint of mine, not really fault of the knife itself, kind of maybe more just what I'm expecting from it, but just something I thought I would point out. Something else I really wanted to point out with this knife, where the jimping is at on this one and how your fingers kind of sit in the scales, it kind of fits perfect. If you really need a lot of like leverage on something, this kind of sets you up for like a perfect grip. Just kind of something I'm noticing, just kind of messing around with it right now. Like I mentioned, I borrowed this from a friend. I just spent a couple of days with it, so I didn't really do a lot of like heavy use with it. But just kind of holding it right now, I'm noticing how great this feels in the hands. Like I said, a little bit of relief right here, nice jumping up there. Kind of fits perfect. So who do I think this knife is for? So if you're somebody like me that likes collecting nice high-end knives, but you don't want to spend an insane amount of money, but you want one that has a really nice custom feel to it, it's going to be kind of hard to compete with this one, I think. Like I said, you have a lot of small little attention to details, such as the knurled block, the number on the inside of the backspace. It's just got a really custom feel to it. PVD scale, stone washed blade, but polished on part of it. A couple different ways of opening it. You do have the thumb stud. You do have the way I've been doing it, my preference, not necessarily a thumb hole, but kind of like a groove back here. Really easy to just flip it out and open it. But if you want something that's in that like $300 to $500 range, and you don't want to go too crazy, you want a nice custom feeling knife, I would recommend a Null. They have some other ones that look quite different. some that are a little bit more aggressive, some that are a little bit more simple. But yeah, I think this is a great knife.